Hello and welcome to Lunchtime Politics, reaching you live from our Lagos headquarters and Nation's Commercial Nerve Center. I'm Jeffrey Uzama. Let's bring you up to speed with the big happenings in politics and in polity at midday. Ruling All Progressives Congress holds state congresses across Nigeria, with some states battling division and litigation in an exercise that is widely seen to be very successful. As counteraction continues between U.S., Israel, and Iran in the Middle East, the United Arab Emirates is appealing to all parties to cease hostilities and embrace peace. Thanks again for joining us on the program where we look through what's playing out in the polity and binge through the big ones that is of importance to you. But today we start off with outside Nigeria, given what's playing out in the Middle East. The United Arab Emirates leaders at a press briefing have shared government readiness to defend its territory while calling for negotiations as the only way to contain the crisis. The Minister of Economy and Tourism in the UAE has announced the opening of safe air corridors, which will accommodate up to 40 flights per day or per hour as part of the regional emergency plans in coordination with other Gulf countries. The minister assures prices will be stable and food security is assured as caution against panic buying is in the nation. Let's now bring you back to Lagos, Nigeria, and as a matter of fact, the entire country, where we can tell you that congresses are held for the All Progressives Congress. They've done their world, local government, and state congresses to elect leaders at the party level. Both in the north and in the south, the exercise took place. So let's take a listen to some of the sound bites we got from the leaders in the south, both governors and some executive members of the party at the state level.
We have demonstrated here that we have a single and a common purpose to ensure that the party formation, the party structure in our state is the best.
As state executive members, your conduct must reflect the high standards of party leadership. You are expected to, amongst others, uphold and defend the constitution of our party at all times.
You must build a party to the heights that everybody will be doing everything to be part of it.
The task before us is clear. Preparation for 2027 general election begin now. We must deepen unity, intensify grassroots mobilization, expand voter registration efforts, and strengthen our structures across all wards and local governments.
Let's also tell you that the exercise also took place in the northern part of the country, and these are some of the things that were said by some leaders of the party in the north.
That President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should be our sole and single candidate in 2027.
With this team that is fairly constituted with equity and justice, we push and ensure that we return back, Mr. President, come 2027, we return all the senators, all the House of Assembly or House of Representatives and House of Assembly members in Gombe State. By what we have done, inshallah, everybody is involved and we shall deliver.
I want to congratulate all the elected officials and to advise you that you must carry everybody along. To advise you that you must do justice to this party.
Our great party has also expressed gratitude to members, stakeholders, and supporters nationwide for the peaceful conduct of the 2026 congresses.
The symbol of APC portray as a people to come together, work together as a family.
Well, we're not done with the North yet. Let's get to Benue State. Now, for instance, for Benue's case, it's a unique case because although the Congress held, there were division in terms of, the Congress held, but another Congress, you will call it the parallel Congress, also held because there's a disagreement or political disagreement between the governors, Governor Alia, and what you could call his political godfather, the SGF, George Akume. But let's take a listen to some of the excerpts from that Congress.
Profound appreciation to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Benue State, your visionary leadership, courage, and unwavering commitment to the progress of our dear state continue to inspire hope among our people.
Zone A stands here proudly to say that we are behind the present government of the All Progressive Congress in Benue State, and we are going to vote en masse for Governor Alia and his deputy come 2027 in the coming election.
If you are the governor who does not mean well for Benue people, you will only open the road and put asphalt. But what you are doing is total construction. And you are reconstructing the Benue State.
We thank you for your continued support to this government of years. You make the wheels of good governance turn and turn round. We want to assure you we will never stop at anything until good governance gets back to the state full-fledged 100%. Let us continue to show the truth of who we are.
That's why I'm bringing in our political analyst. I'll also be joined later by the publicity secretary of the Agada-led APC in Benue State. But for now, we have our political analyst, Jide Ojo, joining us virtually. Mr. Ojo, thank you for coming on the program.
It's my pleasure. Good afternoon.
So, Mr. Ojo, you can clearly see that the exercise is seen to be widely peaceful. So let's touch on some of the places that may be having issues, which is the focus is Benue State. I looked at the data from Benue State before. If there was an election that we can classify as major upset in Nigeria at the state level, it would be Benue State. Before the election, PDP was controlling 22 members, had 22 members in the House of Assembly, and APC had 8. Today, APC is controlling 27. And PDP is having only 3 members. The House of Representatives, PDP had 9 and 1 APC. Today, the entire 10 is APC. In the Senate, PDP had 3 members, no APC. Today, PDP has 1 and 2 senators. In fact, the one they have is Minority Leader Abba Moro. What do you think is this disagreement that is irreconcilable between Governor Alia and George Akume?
Thank you, Geoffrey. I really don't understand what the crux of the matter is between the SGF, George Akume, former governor, former senator, former minister, and current secretary of the federal government, and Father Saint Alia. Don't forget that George Akume has been the godfather of modern Benue politics. Himself having served 8 years, 2 terms as governor before moving to Senate, before becoming a minister. And he was very instrumental in the emergence of Father Saint Alia in becoming the governor. That was after he was influential in the coming of the immediate past governor, Samuel Ortom. But Ortom was to defect from APC back to PDP. Remember, he was in PDP when he was made Minister of Industry, I think Minister of State for Industry. Then he won under APC, then defected back to PDP, and he lost his bid to be a senator under PDP in the 2023 elections. So I really don't know, because the TOTIF has actually mediated this crisis Tortip has brought both Isa Alea and Father George Akume, try to mediate the face-off. But it seems like the two warring factions are digging deep. And I know this crisis started with the attempt by George Akume to control the State House of Assembly after the inauguration in June 2023, where he lost narrowly. His preferred candidate lost narrowly to that of Vincent Alia. And since that time, the center has not held. So, but whatever it is, in the interest of peace, justice, and fairness, I think Benue State has hemorrhaged for too long, particularly with the incidences of banditry, others clashes, and all of the negative news that has come out of Benue. This is the time to join us to rebuild the state. I was in Benue in September of 2024, and save for the dualized federal highway from Kefi to Makurdi, within the Makurdi metropolis, nothing much to show for the years of the establishment of Benue State, which has been an old state, not just one of the newly created. It's been there for over 30 years. So if successive administration has not been able to deliver on infrastructural development, on good governance, on poverty reduction and provision of social amenities, I think it behoves the gladiators to sheath their sword and allow peace to reign and foster a united front. And not because they would, so it's just about control of power. And if it will take the president to mediate in this, the way he has done in the case of Rivers State, so be it. I think the vice president has even tried to mediate in this, calling the two gladiators to sheath their sword. After that of Tortip, the Vice President Kashim Shettima has also tried to mediate. But if, in spite of all attempts, they are still at daggers drawn, then perhaps President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will have to call the two leaders, both Father Vincent Alia and SGF George Akume, and either read rioters to them or try to pacify them one way or the other. Because Benue is the food basket of the nation, and it is very, very pivotal to peace and tranquility in North Central Nigeria.
All right, Mr. Ojo, I'm going to come to you again to further comment on what this portends for the election in 2027 for them, and issues around Delta as well and Ondo. But let me bring in the other guest. Dan Humo is the publicity secretary of the Agada-led APC. Mr. Dan, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
So, naturally, these congresses are supposed to have the presence of INEC, or at least the presence of the national leadership of the party. The other congress were televised live on TV. So, what is really going on here? Is this like a resistance to say, look, we're still in charge here? Or what exactly is the message your group is sending to the governor?
Well, we had our congresses yesterday, as we are aware, and over 1,800 delegates, participated in the Congress. And Comrade Austin Agada was affirmed as state chairman and his ESCO, and was returned as state publicity secretary. And of course, this was done across from the wards to the local government up to yesterday at the state. And let me remind you that prior to us taking over government, we never had people in the National Assembly. We had a very good victory. And in this Congress yesterday, we had our two senators who are representing us at the Congress. We had 9 out of 11 House of Reps members there. We had 16 House of Assembly members who participated were leaders of our party. Senator Dr. Jack Legado was there. The Honorable Minister was with us. Minister for Water Resources and Sanitation, Engineer Professor Tussle, and the chairman of the Congress, Professor U.S. High ON. And so the Congress was seamless. It was done very well, and Agada, our state chairman, was returned for another 10 or 4 years. And so I don't see where there is problem there. If you know, the party in Benue State, as a law abiding party, followed duly what the party at the national has also instructed. If you follow up, you will remember that.
Mr. Human, because of time, I'm going to be quick. If you can answer questions as quickly as possible, so I can get the value for the conversation from both of you. So, who was there? The National Working Committee of the party did the National Working Committee of the party send, somebody to come and conduct the exercise?
Yes, they sent, and INEC also supervised the congresses.
So, are you telling me that both INEC and the NWC sent people to both the Omale election and then Agada's election? Is that what you're saying now?
I don't know about Omale, but the congresses that were held yesterday in Makodi at Uniland Resort Center was monitored by INEC, and NWC also sent people to.
All right, I'll take your word and I'll put you on record for that. Mr. Ojo, let me come back to you. What do you make of this, in addition to what he had just said? Because, there are laws that guide processes like congresses and all of that, and we're familiar with those laws. That's why I'm asking him, since he is the one that's in this other group, to find out. He said he doesn't know whether Omale's group, I'm sure, perhaps, let me not say I'm sure, I want to believe that they were there as well. So if they were in both congresses, what exactly are we making of this? And then the issue of Delta State, we understand persons like Senator Ned Nwoko, Senator Moagege, former DSP, and a few other prominent persons were absent in that Congress in Delta State. What do you make of that as well?
Again, you cannot expect a national state congress of 36 states to be without some issues in few states. And what has happened in Ondo, Delta, and Benue is very saddening, because this is all about control of the levels of power at the state level. And my worry for them is they need to be wary of what happened to PDP in Plateau State in the last elections, where the court ruled that the PDP in Plateau did not have proper structure, and as such invalidated the election of about 16 State House of Assembly members, 1 or 2 senators, and a number of House of Reps, which they won. Only the governor, Kelemu Tuan, survived the acts of the judiciary, based on the fact that the court ruled that there was no properly recognized state structure for PDP. So if they go along this trajectory and refuse to blend and have a united front, it then becomes a very problematic situation in 2027, because this is all about 2027, controls of levels of power ahead of 2027. Don't forget that by next month, party primaries are expected to hold between next month and May, and then campaigns to start by August for national elections. So the gladiators in this respect, whether you're talking of state Governor Aisan Talia or Governor Sheriff Oboro Wele or Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa in Ondo, the three of them are seeking to control the levels of power within their state. And that's why there is this Rukus and Ulabalu. But I think the national leadership of APC needs to wade in. They do have an internal conflict mechanism that should be deployed to try to mediate in these 3 states. so that they will have a united front in planning and executing the party primaries that are going to come next month, as well as the campaigns thereafter.
Mr. Homa, let me come to you before I let you go. So what does this, where do you guys go from here? Because if you have 2 ESCO, that means whatever elections are coming up, those executives will play a part in providing, maybe candidate, if it's at the state level, to provide candidates for those elections. So what is exactly the problem that, I did ask Mr. Ojo, but you are the guys in the eye of the storm. What is the challenge? What is the grievance? What is the anger between the governor and the SGF that is not resolvable?
I want to say this very clearly. It is not between the governor and the SGF. It's between the governor and the party. Since we rode on the ticket of our party, the governor has refused to work with members of the party who, of course, worked for the victory of the party, while others who the party works for have acknowledged the party and have treated those who have worked for their victory fairly. The governor has neglected the party totally. He has brought in basically strangers, to come and take over the party. The attempt is to take over the party. But the party has remained resolute because the party is grounded and the grassroots, the people of Benue, believed this party and voted for it. We had a very difficult fight in 2023. And all we do in the APC in Benue State is follow the rules, the constitution of the party. In this Congress, we have followed what NEC have said in the December NEC meeting, which they said it was going to be non-elective congresses and affirmation. And that's exactly what we have done in Benue State. We are within the law, and I believe that we have taken the right path. It is left for the governor to let him at least acknowledge that these are the people who work for his victory. And let him be presented with respect for the party.
This battle has been on since day one. I did reel out the statistics of how much of an upset, if there was a major power shift in upset, Benue recorded that with the victory of the APC. Today, their victory is resounding, but the house is not in order. Let me come to you, Mr. Ojo. Mr. Ojo, I am noticing something in the APC, especially for the governors who are defecting from the PDP into the APC. Now, when it comes to choosing leaders, elective positions like this, there is a debate. Some are louder than the others. So what would you say is the best way for a party that, because they've been in power for, after 8 years, this is the first term of President Bola Tinubu. He wants to run for re-election. So basically, at the end of this, it's going to be 12 years. They are still not together in that sense, in certain aspect, in some states. And now, complicated or added to the fact that more governors are coming into their party. We now have things like people that consider themselves the aborigines, looking at the PDP people as aliens. In fact, in Taraba State, I understand that the PDP chairman in that state, former PDP chairman, is now the APC chair of the state. What do you make of it?
See, Geoffrey, you and I have predicted this was going to happen because just last week, we had the governor of Adamawa defecting to APC. And today is the leader of the party. So people who have labored in the APC for the past 3 years, he has come to lord it over them. People like Boss Mustafa was former secretary to the federal government. People like NSA Ribadu, Ribadu, now is #1 because of the provision of the electoral the APC constitution and guideline that a governor is the leader of the party. If not for the mediation of the president, I'm sure we will have had similar recalls in Rivers State, where Governor Fubara joined of late. So this is part of the problem you orchestrate, and that's what played out in Sheriff Oborowori's case versus people like Omagege. Remember that in 2019, Omagege was number 4, or was it in ranking order? He was deputy president of the Senate and as such was the highest ranking leader of APC in Delta State. But since the governor moved in, Omagege has been pushed to the background, Ndadinwoko has been pushed to the background. Ovorowori wants to have total control of the political machinery in the
Oh dear. I don't know what's going on, Mr. Ojo. If you can repeat your thoughts quickly, because I couldn't hear you for a sec.
I said it's because of this making governors the leader of the party that has generated this focus. And that, for instance, in Delta State, Sheriff Oborowori, the governor, wants to seek re-election. Likewise, the Aisent Aliyah want to seek a re-election. What I'm also hearing from Ondo State is that Lucky Ayedatiwa is trying to wade through a constitutional landmine to make sure that he seek re-election when his tenure is over, because this is his first full tenure, and if his lawyers are able to get a favorable judgment, he may want to seek a technical third term after finishing the tenure of Akeredolu and all of that. So it's all about controlling the levers of power within the state. As we know, all politics are local. Every one of the governors wanted to have the firm control of the state working committee of their party on their side. And what they have refused to do, which is Deneti Rukus, is not willing to share. Because in other states, what should have happened in the real sense is to share power with those you met, the people you called Aborigines, those who you met in the party. You cannot totally discountenance them, dismiss them with a wave of the hand, while you bring totally new people to run the affairs of the state. So the APC leadership will need to activate the conflict resolution mechanism of the party and see how much it can do to resolve this crisis among some of the states ahead of their party primaries next month.
Well, absolutely. Our job is to be onlookers and see how it plays out eventually. Mr. Jide Ojo, political affairs analyst, and Mr. Danny Humon, publicity secretary of the Agada-led ESCO of the APC in Benue State. And also, I did reach out to... Yes, 10 seconds. We also reached out to the Omale group, but we couldn't get them. Yes, 30 seconds. 30 seconds is how you have.
Yes, the APC constitution is very clear. The leadership in the APC constitution of 2022 as amended is the state chairman, not the governor. I want to make this very clear. There's no article of the APC constitution that places leadership in the hands of governor. It is the state chairman. It is only the PDP constitution that has that clause. The APC constitution do not have.
Okay.
So for leadership in the APC, you try with the state chairman of the party.
All right. Thank you. And noted. That's it on the program. Gentlemen, thank you for coming on the program. I'm Jeffrey Uzonga. You've been served on Lunchtime Politics. Bye-bye.